Hi, I'm Eric, and I'm back with another video. It's been quite a while, I think probably about 6 weeks since my last recording. And I did try to send some notes to my Substack while I was away. I was in Russia, and because of technical issues, I wasn't able to record videos. But I'm back now, and I want to, return to doing that. This video will be just kind of an introduction. I left Chiang Mai, Thailand on May 4th and arrived in Moscow on May 6th and stayed in Moscow for a couple of days. I visited a Zen meditation group of a similar school that I trained in actually many years ago. They're not the exact, it's a little in the Zen world. There's different schools and there's different teaching lines, so to speak. So this is a different teaching line, but basically the same school. So I went there. I was there, and I stayed with a young woman. She hosted me while I was there, and then I went on to Volgograd. Stayed in Volgograd, which is formerly Stalingrad. Stayed there for about a week, and also did one or two. One meditation class there for people who are mostly yoga students. Then I proceeded on to Yalta, stayed close by my friend Regis Tremblay and his lovely wife Tanya, and did a couple of meditation retreats there, and also did some sightseeing. Then I came back to Moscow. I had a very nice time, a couple of days in Moscow, spent some time again with the same Zen group, and gave a talk that time, which people seemed to like quite a bit, and they invited me to come back and stay in Moscow. So something worth considering, although I don't know, I could handle the cold weather there, frankly. But in any case, I came back to Thailand and then proceeded immediately to go into a meditation retreat with a teacher who is based in France, named Jiao Sensei. He's a Brazilian, but trained in France. And so I did a retreat with him, and that was a really wonderful experience, practicing mostly with Thai people. So that was the itinerary that I had during that period of time. But before I go into all that in a subsequent series of videos, because I do have quite a bit of material, both based on individual interviews that I had, as well as some streams of some of the events that I attended, and also just talking with people. But I want to address the current situation here, which is this recent memorandum of understanding, and there seems to be quite a bit of controversy about what the meaning of that understanding actually is and what it will result in. And my own thoughts are that it's too early to say whether it will result in anything substantive, but I think we should remain on guard and skeptical, because the trajectory of the empire of the United States, which is the latest iteration of the British Empire, which had succeeded other empires, the Dutch, the French, the German, the Portuguese, the Spanish Empire. All of those empires have been basically, you could say, forgive me for saying so, victimizing the rest of the world, Latin America, Africa, Asia, and they had a great run for 500 years from the minute Columbus set foot in the shores of the quote unquote New World, at the expense of the peoples who live there. And there's a lot of controversy about, who is the real power behind the scenes, that sort of thing. The latest issue is Benjamin Netanyahu controlling Trump, or is Trump controlling Benjamin Netanyahu? All of that, I think, really we need to look at in the context of the much bigger picture. That picture is that the Western civilization has essentially been a scourge on the rest of the planet for the last 500 years. They have no intention of giving that up. They simply cannot do that. It's not a conscious decision on their part. It is a compulsive psychological mindset that they have, and there's simply no way around that until they are comprehensively and utterly defeated. So the whole idea of negotiation with these people is essentially irrelevant. And recently, Alexander Mercouris and others have pointed out that this is similar to the Minsk agreements, which Russia naively entered into with the Germans, the French, and the new government of Ukraine regime that was inserted in place by the United States. And for those of you who still don't know what that was all about, basically in 2014, Victoria Nuland got the final okay from the then Vice President Joe Biden to unleash a bunch of neo-Nazi thugs to overthrow the government, violating an agreement that they had negotiated with the current government of Viktor Yanukovych. And as it was Mercouris who said that the coup that was described as a coup by the West, no, this was, as George Freeman of Stratfor, who was a private intelligence agency, said, this was the most blatant coup in history. So that was the start of the whole problem in Ukraine, or that was the you could say the gauntlet that the West threw down in front of Russia with this coup in Ukraine, and as we've seen since 2014, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. Negotiations go nowhere, and the only way this is going to be solved is on the battlefield. And of course, they're even talking about the use of nuclear weapons. So it's a very tenuous situation there. As far as Iran is concerned, the United States has had it in for Iran since 1953. They overthrew the democratically elected government of Mossadegh in 1953, installed the Shah. The Shah was a brutal dictator, trained by the CIA and in torture methods to control the population. He was he was then eventually overthrown in 1979, and the United States has never forgiven Iran for exerting sovereignty. So now, the United States and Israel conspired to bring down the Iranian government, and they have apparently, up to this point, they have failed. And so Trump is, you could say, sued for peace, and he makes a lot of promises. And of course, Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israelis, being the rabid dogs that they are, have no intention of following any of those agreements. They insist that they're not party of it, even though the United States has the ability to simply shut off the weapons supply to Israel, which would between weapons and money, if the United States is serious about these agreements, this memorandum of understanding and a final resolution to the problem with Iran, they will have to take Israel under control, or basically what that means is let Israel go and let Iran deal with a defanged Israel. So that is the situation there. So I'll just kind of close it out here. I want to again ask you if you would be so kind as to support my channel with a like or a subscribe, and I'll be doing a series of other commentaries on my trip to Russia, and I'll be doing some other commentaries also on the implications of the Zen retreat that I went to, because they do have real-world implications and applications to our daily life here. So thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you again soon.